Hello and welcome back to the Country Music Social Media Sessions. And I'm very excited to have finally got Mr. Paul Adams on board today, who has recently joined us here.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for coming and spending some time of your day with us today. So, we're going to be asking you a few questions. I suppose you're quite new to us at Country Music Social Media. So how are you finding it so far?
Yeah, I mean it's I've been inundated with radio play, which is absolutely fantastic. I was with a label a while back and then I left the label, and that transition is always a bit weird.
Yes.
And yeah, it's starting to pick up again now. So thanks to you guys. So
Great, well, that's good
appreciate
to
that.
hear. So, what I noticed is you're not just a
Yes.
progression, it's actually your last single. And we've been playing that. Obviously, it's been getting quite a lot of airplay and it's been, well, everyone loves it. So that's you
Yeah,
can't ask much more than that. So
that's good.
tell us about the songs. We're going to play it at the end of the interview. So tell us how it came
Okay.
about, what it's about, and where people can find it.
Okay, well, I'll do the easiest bit. You can find it on everything. Spotify is the best one because it helps me earn some money, or Apple, or any of that sort of stuff. Or you can download it from my website, mrpauladams.co.uk. The song was written. It was 2021, so we'd come out of the. I think we come out of the first lockdown, second lockdown we come out of, and I was married for 10 years and then I broke up, and then I kind of I made a pact to myself that I wouldn't like have I wouldn't date a lot and then bring people in and out of my kids' lives, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that kind of took a lot longer than I thought, and I thought sort of love and romance had kind of that was gone for me and it was done. So I wasn't feeling any of that kind of stuff. But then I found Bumble, and I decided to go on a dating app. Met this lady. We went for a drink. It kind of went. It all went wrong to begin with because the first pub we went to was completely in darkness. Um,
Oh,
yeah, so I was like, "Oh, what are we gonna do?" So we ended up going somewhere else, but we just hit it off straight away, and it was just like it was just easy talking to her and things like that. And as the night went on, uh, I realized that there is hope for me yet, and that kind of thing. Love wasn't done with me yet, and I wasn't dead
no.
yet. And uh, and yeah, she kind of reawoken some things in me. Um, but nothing ever came of it, as these things happen. But she left me with this song. So
Oh,
and
okay.
it's another one of those that kind of just kind of write itself really.
Yeah.
So and it's just the things that where I don't know if you know meditation and stuff like that. You're kind of in the moment and you're mindful. And this was one of those moments that everything was just nuanced. It was so
Mm.
um you could really tune into each and every single moment, and that's what the song's about, is the different things that I'm noticing. And as I'm noticing that, kind of my world is kind of opening up again.
Oh, that's good.
If that
Yeah.
makes sense. If that
Well,
makes
I
sense.
like that because obviously, yeah, I mean, as a songwriter, you don't have to look for the inspiration for a song. Sometimes it just comes to you, or you're
Yeah.
living it, or someone else is living it. So it's a very weird question I find as a songwriter myself when someone says to you, "What is your songwriting process?" Because it's a question that we all get asked,
Yeah.
and I find it really difficult to answer. What do you think?
It depends on the song.
Mm,
So there's different ways I could do it. I don't tend to be someone who will sit down and go, right, I'm writing a song today. This is how it's going to go. I can do it,
yeah,
but it takes me a lot longer. I'm kind of a sort of an ideas person. So like I've spoken about, I've got like two old phones that are kind of full with voice memos and things like that. Some which have never been used, some which end up in songs. So I'll always sort of record ideas, and those ideas will kind of like germinate in my head, if you like. So I
yeah,
plant the seed and I leave it to it, and they kind of write themselves. And then I'll be, I can then play the guitar, and they would come out, and that would be it. Sometimes it could be I'm just messing around on the guitar, and all of a sudden the song is just kind of there. Sometimes I can wake up and I've got a song pretty much ready. I kind of leave it to fate.
yeah,
I find they're the best ones, and happy accidents are always a good thing. You're
yes,
busy doing something else, and then that song comes in, and then yeah, you have to give it your full attention, otherwise
yeah.
it's gone. That's kind of my process. So it just kind of comes to me really.
Absolutely, I believe the same is with me actually, and I'd also think that the best songs I've written are the ones that are, like you say, happy accidents,
Yeah.
or it's just suddenly something's happened in your life, and you wake up in the morning and there's suddenly a song, or it wakes you up in the
Yes.
middle of the night, and you think, oh, I should write that down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The best ones are born like that, I think.
Yes, for sure. And that's why I have to record everything now because there's
Yeah.
too much going on in my head. So I have to record something just to so I've got a note of it. And then you can always go back to it later as well.
Well, I've written songs that I've put on albums for the last few years that I actually wrote 20 years ago. It's just stuff I remembered I'd written back then when we didn't have phones to like record voice notes on. Scribble it all down
Yeah.
and things like that. And I found that some of them, yeah, they've like never throw anything away because you never know where
Yeah.
it's going to fit into something new that you're doing. So yeah, your
Oh
song
yeah,
similar.
I got reams of paper with that. Yeah, yeah. Scrap paper, anything I can get in a box, and they're all there. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So, gigging. Do you gig your original music, or have you got a band, or do you got solo? What do you do with that?
Yes. So excuse me. Sorry, just gonna take a
Have a
swig
drink.
of
Have a
water.
drink. Yeah. It's okay. You're allowed to have a
It
drink.
is just water. It is just
Oh, you
water.
sure?
It's like, yeah. Yeah, I do gig. I haven't gigged as much over the last couple of years that I usually do. I mean, I was gigging something like 3 or 4 times a week, sometimes twice in one day, and it was just getting a bit too much. And then COVID happened,
Yeah.
and that all kind of went. So yeah, so I do still gig pretty much every week as a solo,
Yeah.
and it's a mix of originals and covers. So some gigs they're absolutely fine with originals. Some gigs, unfortunately,
Yeah,
you have
I
to do
know.
covers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've made some good connections with some good venues that are allowing me to do originals, which is good. I also put on my own shows with my backing band, the Local Heroes,
Okay.
and so that's going to be something that I'm going to be pushing a lot more of. And I've now got the band that I want in place, and so it's now just trying to get everything together, and we've got an album to do.
Oh, okay.
Um, it was meant to be done by Christmas, but we
That was actually my
haven't
next
managed to do
question
it.
about albums. Yeah, you got anything planned?
Yeah. Yeah, so I've got an album coming soon. I suppose I can say the name of the album. I haven't told anybody else
Go
yet,
on.
so you get the
Give us an
exclusive.
exclusive.
It it's called Son of a Redneck,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and that
Intriguing.
is basically because I am the son of a redneck, pretty much. So
Okay. Yeah.
my mother was English, my dad was from Texas. I was born out there, so
Oh,
that's where that
wow.
comes from.
Whereabouts in
So it's kind of
Texas?
the duality. A place called Wichita Falls.
Okay.
So it's on the Panhandle, kind of on the border of Oklahoma, near enough.
Oh, okay. I've just come
Uh,
back from Texas a few weeks ago, actually.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think you were too far away from where my family
Partial.
from. Yeah, so they're in Henderson, Texas, and I think you were quite
Yeah. I think I remember seeing
nearby.
signs for that. Yeah. It's so
Yeah,
big. though. It's
and
so, so
and my
big.
my favorite town name ever, Nacogdoches. You
That's
must have
great.
seen that on the sign. Yeah, it's a great name.
So Texas
So
born then.
yeah, yeah, Texan born, yeah, yeah. I'm raised in Aylesbury in Buckinghamshire.
Aylesbury.
So there we go.
Not a bad place.
Yeah,
I've been there once or twice, I think. So yeah,
have
Son of a
you?
Redneck. Yeah, Son of a Redneck.
Son of
So
a redneck.
that's
Yeah.
coming out soon. Or are we gonna?
Um, I should have a single coming out this year off of that album.
Okay.
What I noticed was the first one, and then I should have the next single, which is "Be My Juliet," which should be coming
Okay.
out. Hopefully, if we can pull it off, and I think
Yes.
we should be able to do it just before Christmas, hopefully.
Brilliant. Okay.
And then February time, probably the next single, and then the album just after that. But yeah, you know how life is, and life gets in the way, but we
It
want to make
does,
sure
doesn't it?
it sounds
Yeah.
good. So
We'll
yeah,
get the single to us as soon as you can. We'll get it out for
yeah,
airplay, so you
yeah,
can get some airplay for
absolutely.
Christmas and into New Year. That'll be a good time actually.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're going to have you on board with some of our events as well next year, which will be nice
Yes.
to actually see you live. So future plans then, obviously you're going to be doing an album. Do you want to get that out on tour? Maybe looking at next year, trying to get it out as much as you can.
Yeah, I wanna go back to touring because I haven't done it for a while. So just making sure the finances are right. You know
Yes,
how that
yeah,
is as well. So yeah, so tours and more. I want to get onto some of the bigger festivals because sort of from 2011 up to COVID, I was doing really well with the in the country music scene. COVID hit, we've had this massive explosion, And now, being the old guy, it's really hard to get onto these festivals. So that's my sort of plan to be able to get to,
Yeah.
Buckle and Boots and eventually C2C and things like that.
Yeah.
So
We're all waiting
that's
for
kind of,
that.
I have a couple. I do have a
Yeah.
couple that I can't mention
No,
that I am playing next year.
good.
So that's kind of where I'm trying to go. Just
Yeah.
trying to reestablish myself as the new old guy,
There's nothing wrong
really.
with being older. In fact, I find now, because I'm older as well, it's years ago, you think, oh, it's kind of like it's not gonna happen for me. It's not gonna, people aren't gonna, take me seriously because I'm older. They always want these like young, but it's not. I find that
Yeah,
actually they want the experience, they want the stories because I think the older you are, the more you've got to write about and the more interesting
yeah.
your storytelling becomes. And that's no disrespect to younger people. Their time, they can write great stories too, but as their time gets, they get older, they'll be writing in better songs. But I find that the
Yeah.
older you get, there's so much more to write about, and you're just a walking storybook.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like as soon as you get to this age, I'm looking back at sort of like my musical journey, and I think I'm a far better songwriter now. Some people might disagree, but I'm a far better songwriter now than I was 20, 25 years ago.
Yeah,
And I'm not writing about every single relationship that I've broken up in now this time. So it's kind of there's a bit more sort of
yeah.
intelligence on my part
Yeah.
going in, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the breakup songs are great because I've done a few myself, but it's also nice to
Yeah.
have some stuff that's not just about like that you can actually pick up a
Yeah.
pen and write about anything else and or what you see from another kind of situation that's going on. I mean, I write about everything I can think about really, and it just comes if it
I
comes naturally and it's there, isn't it?
I tend to get a little bit more political as I get older as well,
Oh,
because now I've hit 50, I don't really care. So I can say
yeah.
what I want to say is, yeah. So it could be interesting over the next 4 years.
Do you write one called No Filter? As you get older, you don't
Could do.
care. You don't care. You
Yeah,
try and
yeah,
be respectful about stuff, and you've got ways of saying things that you would, don't have to come across as like rude or anything, but you do care less about what you can say now, and you feel like you've
yeah.
earned it a little bit because you've kind of paid your dues and been gigging the circuit and all that sort of stuff, and why not?
I've 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 been given my official "I don't give a damn" card. That's not really what it's called, but it's yeah.
Yeah.
I can say what I want now. I'm practiced for my old age now.
Exactly, so we could be cantankerous and old.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
exactly. Yeah.
thank you. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Paul. It's been lovely. I'm going to play your song, "What I Noticed" at the end. So if there want people watching this, please give it a play, give it a download, give it a stream. Go to your social media channels because you're on all the social media. Is it Mr. Paul Adams you're under?
It's
YouTube.
at it's Mr. Paul Adams, yeah. So
Right.
I've across the board,
Yeah.
Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I know TikTok at 50, and
Me too. Don't
Facebook.
worry.
It's Mr. Paul Adams, yeah. But yeah, and there is an X account as well, but I don't tend to use that too much.
No, I've just
Uh,
got rid of mine actually. I didn't find it was
yeah,
really working for me.
yeah, and there are other reasons as well. Again,
Yeah.
not getting too practical, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
at it's Mr. Paul Adams on all the platforms really, and then the website's mrpauladams.co.uk.
Brilliant. I'll get people to get in touch. Get in touch, download, stream his music. You won't be disappointed. Paul, it's lovely to speak to you, and we will see
It's
you
lovely
very
to speak to you.
soon. Take care.
Thank you very much. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Hi,
Oh, hi.
I don't suppose you know where this place is at all?
Yeah, I do. If you go, actually, I'm going that way anyways. Do you want me to show you?
Oh, that'd be lovely, thank you. Oh, oh, it looks like they're not coming after all.
Oh,
I don't suppose you fancy a coffee at all?
yeah, why not?
Excellent.
The first thing that I noticed was her smile when she found me waiting in the dark. My situation had me running wild, and I caught a glimpse of something that I'd lost. And all because she raised the corners of her mouth. I know to you that sounds strange. The first thing that I noticed was her smile, and her smile brought me back today. The second thing I noticed was her touch. Something about it made me safe. I knew that I could be myself, and I wouldn't have to play no stupid game. And all because she reached out her hand. I'll try to make you see it when I say. The second thing I noticed was her touch, and her touch brought me back today. Brought me back from where I thought I had to stay. I never see another bright day. The third thing that I noticed was her eyes, and her eyes brought me back today. The last thing that I noticed was her kiss, the sweetest thing to have ever reached my lips. Something about it drove me wild. Somehow it fixed my broken mind. And all because she broke down that wall. I know my forever is okay. The last thing that I noticed was her kiss, and her kiss brought me back today. The last thing that I noticed was her kiss, and her kiss brought me back today.